Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, community. This is July 4th, our finance meeting. And so we're going to get right to the agenda. Identification of media. I see Bree from Turtle Island News. Okay. Any changes, deletions, or adoptions of the agenda? Hearing none, do I have someone who will move today's agenda?
I'll move that.
I'll move, Melba.
Moved by Carrie, second by Melba. All in favor? Agenda's carried. We have no presentations today. We have the minutes of June 20th. There's a typo there, 2022. Any questions on the minutes? Helen? You move?
Yeah.
Moved by Helen. Do I have a seconder? So let's move to 6, health services, phase 2 of the ambulance base renovations. So David, welcome this morning. I will hand the floor over to you to speak, or Janet, sorry. Both of you. Welcome, Janet. Welcome, David. Over to you, Janet.
So do you want me to read the recommendation or just to provide some background, or?
You can actually read the recommendation and then we'll go to council for discussion.
Okay. So, whereas phase 1 of the paramedic base renovation has been completed and the completion of phase 2 of the project is a requirement to support service, and whereas partial funding has been secured through the Ministry of Health in the amount of $825,603, and whereas phase 2 of the paramedic base renovation project tendering results and recommendations have been received by KL Martin and Associates in the amount of $2,030,000.01, and whereas $500,000 of the Health Services Department deferred funds and the balance of the funds will be provided by Six Nations of the Grand River Elected Council at a rate of 5% will be provided to support the completion of the project. Therefore, be it resolved that the Six Nations of the Grand River Human Services Committee, it shouldn't say Human Services Committee, sorry. Be it resolved that the Six Nations of the Grand River Finance Committee recommend to the Six Nations of the Grand River Elected Council, sorry, this is not a revised one, to approve Blanca Contracting Limited as the successful tender for the paramedic base phase 2 renovation in the amount of $2,030,000.01.
Okay, thank you, Janet.
Thanks.
At this time, I will open it up for questions. Go ahead, Anna.
Janet, I was wondering, a large project, are the funders ready to assume any additional costs, because it's going to be construction, so it's not, it's very difficult to estimate the exact cost.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, what is the provision to cover any additional costs?
So the plan for additional costs at this point will be We are in the last year of our block funding agreement with for federal funding, and so because we do have health, the department does have some surplus dollars, so I am hoping to be able to pull on those in the event that we have any funding, increased funding, any contingencies that come up sort of throughout the renovation.
Any other questions for Janet? So this went to Human Services, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I'm having my iPad keeps turning off on me. Do I have any other comments or mover in regards to this? Or no mover?
I'll move. It's just all about the second phase, right? We got all the info
Okay.
and I got the money.
Moved by Helen, do I have a seconder?
I'll second Hazel.
Second by Hazel. Do I have any final questions? Hearing none, we'll go to the vote. All in favor?
Favor.
Does anybody oppose? Hearing none, that motion is carried. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, David, for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah. See ya.
Okay, council, let's move right along to item number 8. The food bank request for support. When the chief gets on, we'll do 5 and 7. Okay. Food bank request.
I can speak to that if needed, Michelle.
Sure, if you can give us a background, Anna Cecile. I think we've all seen the letter in Dropbox.
Yes, so as the food bank has mentioned, they are in support of additional funds due to the inflation and the increase in prices. Council have some funds from COVID funds that are available for members of the community in distress. So the proposal is to donate up to 50,000. It will be up to council to determine how much we can donate.
Okay, thank you, Anna. I see that they requested 25,000, but we're suggesting 50 is what you're saying?
They're actually acknowledging the 25,000 that we have donated during the previous year,
right.
and asking for any funds that we have available.
Okay. Questions, comments? Helen?
So I know they need help because I know more and more people are using the food bank because I mean the food prices are crazy right now. But is this 25,000 will be an annual thing or is it just a one-time only thing?
I think that's up to council to determine if they're going to support the food bank annually. So it's a $50,000, I guess, recommendation, right, Anna?
Yes, the recommendation is to donate now 50,000. I know that social services also donates annually 18,000 for milk and children's kits, but it will be up to council exactly as Michelle suggested to do, if it's going to be annually or like permanent, or is this only this year?
Mm-hmm.
Michelle.
Yeah, I had a similar question to Sherry Lynn, in terms of that admin fee. I don't know if it's still there. And I'm probably gonna consider moving this on a one-time basis. I just, because we're pulling the money from COVID, I don't know where future monies would come from. If that could be answered, then I'd have no problem giving an annual of amount, for 25, 50,000 if it's budgeted properly. But if it's 50,000 for this one time, I have no problem moving that at all.
Thanks, Nathan. Carrie. So we
Yes,
have a
I'll-
motion on the floor.
Yeah, I'll second that because I was gonna make the motion, but I'll second Nathan's motion.
Okay. Is there any other comments before we go to a vote? Helen?
Yeah, I agree with Nathan. Just to make sure this is a one-time thing only right now, find out more information as to whether because if it's COVID money is only one-time funding. We're not gonna have that next year. So we need to find out if they're gonna want this to be an annual thing or whatever, or if council's gonna decide to do that.
Okay.
If
And
we're
I
gonna
think,
make it annual, we gotta make sure we have the money there to do that. So one time only, I agree.
and I do believe that the food bank used to receive gaming dollars. And I think we're gonna see more and more community groups come forward, just like we've seen some come forward already, because that money isn't there because the bingo hall was closed for the last 2 years. So we have a mover and a seconder. Any other comments? So Becky, you got that it's a one-time donation, 50,000? Okay, all in
And
favor?
Also, Michelle, are you gonna add in that they pay for, if there is an admin fee, that it's paid?
Okay, that user $5 fee is waived, is what you're suggesting?
Yes, because some people can't even afford that. So if we're gonna do this, let's make it feasible for everybody.
So you want that added into Nathan?
No, I was just going to agree with that for sure.
Okay. And I just actually reached out. There is no user fee. Since COVID started, they do not have the $5 user fee. So,
Okay, so when COVID is whatever, I don't know when it's gonna be done, or are they gonna implement it in a year? Because this money, how long is this money good for?
yeah, this is 1 year.
So are they going to implement it? If they do implement it, can it still be in there? I still don't want to, for the
Okay.
community to pay.
Okay. So I do believe Nathan has put that in there. And right now they have waived that fee. So it's not an issue and likely won't be an issue for the rest of the fiscal year. But again, the funds will likely be exhausted in the next month or two. Okay, so with that, we'll go to a vote. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion is carried. So waive second reading on that one?
I'll move.
Moved by Nathan.
I'll second.
Thanks, Carrie. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Hearing none, motion is carried. Okay. So with that, and seeing the chief is not on the line yet, we will now motion to adjourn. Unless someone can speak to 5 and 7, the federal school security cameras and the Canada Games, the Haudenosaunee programming, or else we bring it back to the next general council meeting, so it's open to the public. Hearing nothing, do I have someone to move us to adjourn to in camera?
Michelle, just on 5, is there a time frame on approving this?
I have no idea.
No, it can be approved. I know that so I'm sorry. So can I speak to
Yeah,
that?
sure.
I know that Public Works already working on this and the search of the security cameras, but the funding is available. Chief had offered to would like to allocate $500,000 from the COVID funds to security cameras and support, and if there's any balance, to support schools in any activities they may need. I don't think it's super urgent, but I think it's pretty straightforward.
Okay, I think, yeah, we needed a little bit more history, and when the chief is available, we'll bring this item back up. Hazel?
Yeah, I was just wondering, I think the topic speaks for itself, security cameras, and hearing what we hear on about all of these incidences whereby schools have suffered greatly at the hands of people that just want to hurt people. I don't know that there should ever be a delay in getting security cameras into a school, because it's going to monitor a lot of activity. And I think the sooner you have that, the better it is for everybody. So that's my thoughts on it. And I did read the letter from Travis Anderson about that, and it's also to monitor the playground to address some of the bullying, etc., that's apparently going on. So personally, I don't have no problem on moving that this motion go through now.
Okay, this moved by Hazel. Do I have a seconder?
I have no problem seconding it.
Any other comments?
If you need to know where the funding's coming from. Well, comment.
Go ahead, Helen.
Well, well, if Chief Hill has us on the agenda, all the information, he must have all the information that goes with it. I mean, I'm assuming.
I just see the letter. I don't know. Nathan, do you have more insight to this?
No, I was just gonna mention that I don't have a problem with the notion of us, the intent of the resolution. It's just there's a lot of information missing vis-a-vis where's the money coming from, and other aspects of the project that we may not know about, that may arise in a verbal update, that I'm a little concerned about. And if we don't have an idea of what those concerns are, or what those items are, we might be put ourselves in a position. One is, I don't know where the money's coming from, and that, to me, that's pretty important.
Yeah, I think we need to know that.
Okay, thanks, Nathan. Thanks, Helen. Hazel?
Well, the letter that I read is Mark sending a letter off to Travis Anderson and notifying him of the money to do just that. So I don't know, when you say you don't know where the money is coming from, well, I don't either, but if the chief has already informed him, he must have money in order to write a letter like that.
And the funds, actually, I just got a note, will come from COVID dollars.
Okay.
So if we can add that in. But Nathan, Helen, I would maybe, I'm not sure where the chief is this morning. I'm thinking they're in a meeting. But can we defer this to the mover to the seconder so we have more information and can make a sound decision?
I agree.
Hazel, Carrie, are you good with that? It'll come back maybe in camera. I'm not sure. The community knows about it. If it's in camera, it'll be also brought out to open.
Well, I made the motion because I think, as far as protecting the schools and the kids, I don't have a problem with moving it now. But if it's required that we wait on the chief to give more background, So I'll just have to go with that. Thank you.
Thanks, Hazel. Carrie?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, thank you.
It's
Melba,
It's
did I hear
Melba?
you? Yep.
Yes, yeah, I think we have to look into the accountability of Indian Affairs, IFC, whoever's responsible, because I know, well, if there's COVID dollars, that's really great, but maybe it can be used in other areas, and I think that the safety and overall safety of all concerned in the school system is very important, but we should look at responsibility and accountability when it comes to Indian Affairs. No, it hasn't always been great. If you remember, we didn't even have paper one year that the children could write on. So I think we should ask those kind of questions. Why are we putting COVID funding in place when the responsibility lies with Indian Affairs? Thanks.
Thanks, Melba. So with that, we will defer that until Chief Hill is available to give us a background in those discussions. Likewise, the N22 Canada Games. So with that, there's nothing more on today's agenda. Can I have someone adjourn this meeting?
I'll move, Melba.
Thanks, Melba. Seconder. Helen? All in favor? This meeting is adjourned. Thanks, community. Be well. Have a great week. Okay, Council,